Hello. Here we are. We're graphing probably the most complicated thing we've done to date. So here we go. I have this set up. We're going to find the amplitude, the phase shift, the period, the frequency, and the vertical shift. And we're going to put all these answers in the blanks here. I have it all pre-set up, and then we're going to try to graph this thing. Here we go. And try to get it done in less than 5 minutes. Yeah, the amplitude is going to be 4. Okay, because that's right there. The frequency, what did you guys get for the frequency? 1/2, correct. That is 1/2. That's pi over 2, which is 1/2 pi. The period is going to be the 2 pi divided by 1 over 2, which is 4 pi. So the period would be 4 pi. The phase shift is, very carefully, this is plus, so we're going to have a negative pi divided by whatever the frequency is, which is 1/2. So the frequency is 1/2. So this is going to be flipped and multiplied, so it's going to be negative 2 pi. Let's put a circle around that baby because we'll have to come back to that. The vertical shift is, of course, -6. So this whole graph, after we shift it to the right or left, depending on what we have to do, it'll be shifted to the left on this one. Then we'll have to shift it down 6 units. So I want to show you all the strategies that I know to get this done fairly quickly. So, okay. Here's the trick to this. Instead of going from 0 here, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to write on this and then I'm going to delete a bunch of stuff, so don't write any of this. What normally people would do is they would say, okay, this is your 0 mark, the amplitude is 4, so I go up and down 4, like that. I think this is the wrong thing to do because your graph is going to get so cluttered that you won't be able to find anything. The best way to handle this is to realize that the vertical shift is -6, so that your line on this, your midline, is going to go down 6 units. Now I'm going to grid this off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is my -6 right there. Okay, now from there, I'm going to make a dotted line in like a weird color, like purple or something like that. That's kind of heavy. Just bear with me a second. We'll need this. So I'm making a dotted line across here. Just freehanding that. There we go. So that's our midline. Now the amplitude from there is going to go up and down 4. Okay, we'll go back to our yellow color. So up 4 would be 5, 4, 3, 2. So it'd be -2. And it would go down 7, 8, 9, 10. So it would go down to -10. So the range there is from -2 to 10. So that's where this thing is going to be waving around. Okay, and I think basically at that point, that becomes your new x-axis there, that little dotted purple line. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, so we got our amplitude. We're working with the cosine. Okay, we're working with the cosine. So let's go ahead and figure out some sort of grid to this. So if our period is 4 pi and I want to graph a period, then I'm going to put the marks. I'll tell you what, just to be real good about this, I'll put the marks up here on this axis, and that's going to be just pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, and that's going to be one period. So I always like to show at least a full period of the graph. And if we had to graph this right now, this would go, I got my 4 intervals, which I want, and it would start about, let me make it in a strange color, like green maybe. It's going to start here and go down, hit the midline right there, come down and bottom out right about there, and then back up, hitting the midline here, and topping out here. Now, if you do find it helpful, I'll show you what else you can do. You could make dotted lines. In fact, this is how I did it. Going across like this, just to show you where the range is of these things. And I think that would be incredibly helpful to do that. And we should probably extend that in the other direction as well, since we're going to be bumping this back the other way. I'll just do that real quick here. There we go. So there's a lot of little setup on this, you know. There's my midline going the other way. Back to the screen colors. Finish this off a little bit. So this would keep going like so. Okay, so it would keep going in that direction right there. But now our phase shift, basically by doing this, our vertical shift part is over because it's already down where it should be. And I think that's the correct way to do it. Instead of shifting it to the left or right and then moving it up and down, it's better to just center the thing on the midline, which would be the purple line here, and then moving it left or right like yesterday. And we're going to phase shift this thing -2. So we're going to bump it back like this. Now, go back to my yellow. Sort of get this even here. This would be -pi, and this would be about 2 pi negative right here. Okay? And then following suit from the other day, since this is where I'm going to start, I'm going to make a dotted red line. I know this is, I told you it was crazy. And then that's where I'm going to start my cosine curve. Okay, and then all should be well. I want to make this thing have a period of 4 pi. So it's got to go from here to here for its period. Okay? That's going to be its period. So it starts, because it's cosine here. And remember, guys, if the amplitude was negative, we'd be starting this thing down here and going the other way. So that'd be another little wrinkle I could throw in there. So this is going to go down here, hit the midline, just freehanding this, bottom out right here, and then midlining it here and peaking right there. And I might as well just keep going for the fun of it. I would go here and then down here and so on. Okay? So there's my right here rather, my period on the new graph. And of course the green line is irrelevant. That was just kind of a baseline thing that I went with. The red line is the one you're going to want to put on your test. So you do this with a pencil and erase it. All right. Have a good one. Study this thing again, please. See ya.